Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Daniel from CoinSpots, and today we've got Bitcoin almost breaking new all-time highs to $18,000. Pretty crazy. Um, but so it is in the crypto world. In addition to that, we're going to take a brief look at Ripple. In my last video, I said how I was taking a nice little trade on Ripple, and it actually turned out pretty well. And I'm just going to kind of be discussing my thoughts while going into the trade and basically why I did things the way I did. And then we've got a few pieces of news to discuss. PayPal or a former executive from PayPal is now switching over to Coinbase, as well as another prominent figure in the institutional world is switching over to Dash. And we're going to talk about the significance of that. We're also going to touch on the possibility of a Bitcoin ETF in the future in 2018, and then a follow-up on the South Korean regulation that we talked about last video. Um, so yeah, Bitcoin right now, it's up. What's it up since last video? Like about 10%. So we were in this little consolidation phase. I called it a descending triangle, but obviously that didn't confirm. We broke this little downward trend line, but basically from this little, I guess, area, you can say, ending right here where we see this green candle was just more of a consolidation phase, and now with this 10% run up, most likely due to the futures that are coming out Monday, and that's gonna be some interesting stuff to watch, because CME is the real deal. That's where the big money's coming, and I'm definitely gonna be watching the GDAX order books on Monday, and also scanning Twitter and crypto Twitter and Reddit and stuff like that. See what the sentiment is for the futures, and also take a look at the futures volume, and just basically the whole 9 yards, because as I said before, the CBOE futures was just more of a smaller taste of what's to come, but CME is definitely the real deal, and that's what we're gonna have to be watching for, um, because CME, I believe, requires a decent amount of money to put up front in order to actually take out a futures contract for Bitcoin, and I'm not exactly sure the amount, but it was definitely a pretty high uh, price point. So CME is definitely geared toward the institutional investors and those with a lot of money. That's why it's just simply so important to see what comes out of it. CBOE was just more of the retail everyday person, because I think you only needed like to put up one Bitcoin up front or something like that, a very very small amount of money compared to what the CME requires. So right now Bitcoin is doing its thing, up 10%. Looks like we are consolidating a little here. Really there's not really much to do with Bitcoin. Just continue holding on to it. I don't typically trade Bitcoin. um, I just daily cost average into it and then buy the dips. Trading Bitcoin for me is just not something that I do. um, that's more for altcoins. So now transitioning into Ripple, we saw a huge run up in Ripple yesterday. um, and it was basically all speculation. There were some rumors that came out. I don't remember what exactly, but let's see. Oh wow, Ripple is now down 6%, and down 13% relative to Bitcoin. So yeah, good thing I got in on a trade. So basically, I was looking at Ripple yesterday, and I didn't catch this run up at all. I actually got in around the 4,000 Satoshi mark, and I was riding this up all the way up here to the top here around 5,300 Satoshi. And I remember I was right here, and we started having a bit of a sell-off. So then I drew this little fib retracement, and I said if it breaks the 0.786 fib, I was gonna sell, and that's pretty much exactly what I did. So I got in about a 600 Satoshi trade, which I was pretty happy with. Um, I mean, I'm not the best trader in the world. I'm still getting into it and learning how to use the technicals and get better with everything. But I mean, I was pretty happy with the profit. I know I probably could have held on a little bit and sold up here, but it is what it is. Trading is definitely something that I really only do just for fun. Like the majority of my money is in it's just pretty much just holding the coin, right? Whether it's for um, the product behind the coin, so mid cap altcoins is where that category would fall under, or if it's just investing in some of the top tier coins like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Monero, right? Those would be my top picks. Um, but Ripple, I've never really been too much of a fan of Ripple. I'm more more leaning towards Stellar Lumens. Um, but as I said, I saw Ripple going up, and I wanted to trade a little bit, and I did pretty good. So right now we're in this slight consolidation phase. This is just the 30-minute, so nothing long term. And we've just been, hugging this short-term trend line, higher lows and lower highs. And actually, we've just broken the trend line a little bit, but we've got a nice green candle forming here. So maybe after I finish recording this, I'll, see if I can get back into Ripple. But who knows? um, now actually looking back on the trade, I did have this fib retracement set up ever since it started on this red candle right here. So I probably a smart thing to do, or that I should have done was probably get in on this zero point 0.5 fib level. Once I saw it just touch that and then go back up, that was definitely a telltale sign that there was a big support there. Um, so stuff like this, when you're actively trading, obviously I'm doing it with small amounts of money. The majority of my holdings are just pretty much hodling it. Um, but yeah, start if you want to start trading with just small amounts, and you know as you're doing it, you're going to learn more. Um, just by executing trades. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but if you're not playing with that much money, it's all good in the end. And you just get more experience doing it. And I see that I could have done something better on this trade, but I was still profitable, and I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah. Now moving on, we've got two pretty big pieces of news here. So a former PayPal and Facebook executive, David Marcus, is now joining Coinbase. And then we also have this guy, Bradley Zastro, from American Express, joining the Dash Core team. So both of these articles, this one is actually, it's a Reddit post, but it's linked to a post on the Dash forum. But basically, we're seeing some integration now between the financial sector and cryptocurrency, right? We've got a guy from American Express and a guy from PayPal coming over to crypto, right? People are seeing that that cryptocurrency is legitimate. Whether they're viewing it as a payment, a means of payment, or they're more interested in the technology behind it. Um, Obviously, since these guys are switching over from older institutions like PayPal and American Express, they definitely see some potential in especially Dash, right? Dash and Litecoin, probably my two top picks for actual cryptocurrencies as a means of payment. Very low fees, very fast transaction times. Um, Both of them are pretty solid coins. But going into 2018, we're definitely going to see a lot more of these stories where um, you know people are just moving from the old financial sector into cryptocurrency startups, or even just more established businesses like Coinbase. And it's definitely something really good because as I've been saying, it is legitimizing cryptocurrency. It's just quite astonishing, like how fast the crypto world moves. Because I remember when I got into crypto back in the beginning of the summer, so probably June of this year, and I started investing in it. It's like no one really knew what it was still, and most people I talked to were just thinking, oh, it's some digital currency that is just a fad and whatnot. Um, but it's interesting to see how quick things changed. It literally in the blink of an eye. You've got people from now old, established institutions coming in and helping up or helping with start crypto startups, which is something that's definitely really good to see. Now, apart from this, um, we've got the news of a potential Bitcoin ETF. So, um, if you don't remember, I think it was the Winklevoss twins. They were two like really early Bitcoin investors. I think they started with BitInstant. That was with Charlie Shrem, I believe, back in the 2010, 11, 12, somewhere around that time. But basically, they submitted their proposal for a Bitcoin ETF this year and actually got denied. Um, However, with the release of Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin ETF is definitely down the road. It's at this point it's inevitable that it's going to happen, and I'm super bullish on a Bitcoin ETF because it's basically going to allow just regular retail investors to get into Bitcoin, right? Because most of them already know how to write their brokerage accounts, whether it's with Fidelity or Charles Schwab or whatnot. Um, that's where they're going to be, purchasing their uh, Bitcoin, stock per se, right? And it makes it a little bit safer, obviously, to purchase, and you don't have to go through the hassle of, opening up a wallet and basically keeping track of your crypto. I mean, obviously, with people who are already in the crypto space, it really isn't that difficult. But I guess people are turned away by it because you basically have to safeguard your own money, right? You have to um, safeguard your private keys, and you're pretty much your own bank with cryptocurrency. Um, but a Bitcoin ETF is 100% something that we're going to see in 2018. Very, very bullish on it. And I think that the amount of people that are just retail people, everyday people that are waiting for something like this to come out it's going to be huge for crypto. Huge. Because it's going to surpass any negative news that comes out. Even if institutional investors are shorting the hell out of those Bitcoin futures, I think when an ETF comes out, it's going to make the price of Bitcoin go absolutely crazy. So I'm super stoked on something like this to come out, and really, I can't wait. So yeah, moving on to our last piece of news. This is on Bitcoin.com. Pretty much just following up on the piece of news yesterday with South Korean regulation. So basically, they held this emergency meeting for cryptocurrency, which it makes sense in a way, but I still find it kind of funny. Um, so yesterday, the news was just speculation of what was going to come out of the meeting, but they actually implemented a couple factors, and basically the major things that came out is that they were banning all foreigners and minors from investing in Bitcoin. Minors, I don't mean people actually mining Bitcoin. Minors being like young kids and high schoolers. There's a quote somewhere here about it. Somewhere in here about it. Yes, right here. Foreigners who are not residing in Korea or minors, including high school students, will not be able to open an account for virtual currency transactions in Korea. So this is interesting, and as much as I personally don't agree with it, because I am a minor myself, um, I think that the Korean government really cares for the well-being of the people, um, because they're not going out and banning cryptocurrency, because even though these young kids now can't purchase any more crypto, the government isn't taking away the crypto that they already have. So obviously they can still do exchanges under the table, right? They could probably buy Bitcoin from an older person who is able to invest in um, in crypto. Um, but I think it's really just the South Korean government concerned about the well-being of their people, and they want to kind of just take the reins on crypto because people are just throwing crazy amounts of money into it. And I mean, as you can see, there's no doubting that all of this price action and these astronomically high prices are pure speculation. It is absolutely no doubt. These coins are not worth this much. As much as you know, people who are super bullish on Bitcoin or on crypto in general don't want to hear it. It's really the truth, right? Because I'm bullish on crypto, but I'm not blindly bullish where I think that it's just going to continuously go up. Most of these prices are due to the fact of the demand being so high. Coinbase trending on the Coinbase app trending on the App Store, right? Just more and more people getting into the space. That's why these prices are so high. And the South Korean government definitely sees that, and it's just more of a step to kind of control what I guess younger people are doing with their money. And the thing about foreigners is also pretty interesting because it doesn't allow foreigners to use South Korean exchanges. And basically, the way you do use a South Korean exchange is you need to open up a virtual bank account and link that virtual bank account to one of the crypto exchanges in South Korea. And basically, the Korean government is shutting down virtual bank accounts. So it's blocking that pathway between fiat and Bitcoin. Um, so obviously, it is making it harder for basically everyone to move into crypto. However, there's probably going to be workarounds that are coming. Um, but with that ban on foreigners, it basically kills any kind of arbitrage that was going on. Um, I mean, I don't know exactly the process of how someone outside of Korea would be able to get a virtual account with a bank and link it to an exchange, but I guess some people were doing it. It probably isn't a huge population and or percent, so it's not really going to affect that many people. But it's just interesting to see because the arbitrage between the Korean exchanges and exchanges outside of Korea was pretty big. Like I think when Bitcoin was rising, it was a couple $1,000s difference in Korea. It was like 22,000, 23,000 for a Bitcoin in Korea, where in everywhere else it was 16 or 17,000. So that's a pretty big difference. Um, but I mean, overall, this news didn't really affect the market at all, and it really shouldn't because it's at the end of the day, it's just the Korean government more concerned about the welfare of their people. Um, as much as I personally don't agree with the news, um, it isn't it is not an approach like China that is just banning cryptocurrency outright. The South Korean government still believes cryptocurrency is property, and they can't confiscate that from its citizens. So who knows? We'll see. How regulations go in the future. I mean, regulations are just something that is inevitable, and as much as we in terms of the crypto community do not like them, they're going to come, and I guess we're just going to have to deal with them. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the U.S. and what they do with crypto regulation. But so it is. Alrighty then. That's going to wrap up today's episode. Going to be probably taking a look at some more alts for some more trading opportunities. Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to mention, oh, my Twitter isn't there. Usually it comes up, is that this is totally just a rumor, but I did find this image circulating Twitter, so I just threw it up on my Twitter page. Could be fake, who knows, but potential coins to be added to Coinbase, Dash, Ripple, and Monero. Seems legit, to be honest. They are pretty solid coins. But, a factor like this, you bet your bottom dollar that any coin added to Coinbase is going to go through the roof. So whether this is true or not, just keep an eye on Coinbase's Twitter feed and all of their social media outlets, because you bet when they release news of what new coin they're adding to their exchange, it's going to get pumped through the roof. So this is just a nice little piece of news, or not news, leak, speculation, total rumor that these three or one of them could be added. And I mean, they're all potential possibilities because they are large cap coins. But yeah, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys like it. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get out this content as much as I can, and working on a couple other videos that I could put up on this channel besides the daily podcast during the week. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next time.